Insulating your conservatory could cost you a few £1,000s, but it might also add up to £15,000 to your home's value. So is it actually worth it, or just another expensive upgrade? We're breaking down the real cost of conservatory insulation, what you actually get for your money, and whether it really pays off. Let's start with the problem. Most conservatories look great, but they're not built like proper rooms. In winter they're freezing, in summer they're boiling. And because of that, a lot of them end up becoming storage rooms, dumping grounds, or just completely unused spaces. The reason is simple: they lose heat incredibly quickly. In fact, a typical conservatory without insulation can need 3 to 4 times more heat than a normal room just to stay warm. So even if you've got double glazing, you're still losing a huge amount of heat, especially through the roof. This is where insulation comes in. Done properly, it helps keep heat in during the winter and stops the space overheating in summer. But more importantly, it changes how you use the room. Instead of a space you avoid for most of the year, it becomes somewhere you can actually use every day. And that's the real shift. You're not just making it warmer, you're turning it into a proper usable part of your home. So what does it actually cost? For a typical 10 by 10 polycarbonate roof conservatory in the UK, you're generally looking at around £3,798 for a professional insulation upgrade. That can vary depending on the size of the conservatory, the type of roof, whether it's glass or polycarbonate, and the finish you go for. In most cases, the roof is where the majority of the cost goes, and that's because it's also where the heat escapes. So if you're going to invest anywhere, that's usually the place to start. Now this is where it gets interesting, because this isn't just about comfort, it's about value. According to award-winning estate agents, a well-maintained insulated conservatory that's actually usable can add up to £15,000 to your home's value. But here's the key point: an unused conservatory is worth basically nothing. Buyers don't care that it exists, they care whether it feels like a real usable room. So when you insulate it, you're not just improving it for yourself, you're turning it into something buyers will actually value. There's also the energy side of things. Research from the University of Salford found that advanced insulation systems can reduce heat loss by up to 82% and lower heating energy use by around 30%. In simple terms, that means you're no longer trying to heat a space that's constantly leaking warmth. Over time, that can make a noticeable difference to your energy bills. It's also worth mentioning that not all insulation is the same. Some systems are designed to a much higher standard, using multi-layer materials and advanced thermal technology. For example, CI Group's C.H.R.I.S system uses a 6-layer aluminium quilt with technology researched and developed by NASA on the Apollo space shuttle. It's designed to reduce up to 90% of heat loss through the roof and help control the temperature all year round. That's part of the reason their installations tend to sit at the higher end of the market. But the trade-off is performance. Better temperature control, greater efficiency, and a finish that actually makes the space feel like a proper room. So while cheaper options are out there, they don't always deliver the same long-term results. And this is why going with the cheapest provider can actually cost you more in the long run. Because if the insulation doesn't perform properly, you're still dealing with the same problems, just slightly less of them. There are also a few common mistakes to avoid. The first is treating it like a DIY job. Insulation needs to be installed properly to actually work. The second is going for the cheapest option available, because in many cases that just means you don't fully solve the problem. And the third is ignoring ventilation, which can lead to condensation or damp issues. Cutting corners here usually means you're paying for an upgrade without really getting the benefit. It's also worth saying that insulation isn't always the right solution. If your conservatory is in poor condition or the structure itself needs replacing, then insulating it might not be enough. In those cases, a full upgrade or rebuild could make more sense. So, is a conservatory insulation worth it? If you want to turn it into a proper usable room, then in most cases, yes. You're improving comfort, reducing heat loss, and potentially increasing the value of your home at the same time. Because at the end of the day, it's not about having a conservatory, it's about whether it actually works as a room. For more information, check out the link in our bio to see how we can transform your conservatory all year round.